Right, okay then, Bob. What I'm just going to show you now is just a Supra Keysafe. A few guys have been asking for this. There's one or two reckon it can't be done, but it can be done. It just takes a little bit of time and practice, just like anything. It's the new Supra, obviously the one with a clutch, i.e. just turns all the way round. Okay, and what I've done, I've had this, although you always have to trust me with my locks, I've had my kid reset it. All I know is that she's put 4 digits in there, so I know it's a forms a 4 code. But just to run over the lock, because I know that there's 1 or 2 videos out there that show a way to open this, but the only thing you need to watch out for is that you could actually break some of the pins in here, because they're not that strong. Because one of the techniques I've seen is to basically put the or turn the handle to unlock until it just bites and stops, then go through each button. I've seen it being pushed down with a pen, pushing them down until you get a slight turn back or a kick back on this handle. It will drop like so. So from there it will drop, boom, there. All well and good if you're doing it on, you know, just for practice, but some of the buttons, be warned, need a really hard press in order to get that to actually bite back down. And they don't all do it. So sometimes you have to go through through different permutations. But worst case is that you break one of the pins or even more, and you basically got a lot that's shagged. So you would have to distractively open it. Okay, so I'm going to show you a way that you can decode all these without any danger to break pins. Okay, it can take a little bit of time, but you know, that's what this job is about. It's not always about to rush it. But once you get the idea, it all comes down to practice, and you soon get the knack of it. What we're basically going to be doing, or the way I'm going to show you, is we are going to use the actual handle itself, and we are going to be using it to the point where it just bites. And what you can see is when I turn that, you can see the clear or the reset button here moves down. Okay, and obviously all the clears for is if you press buttons, etc. That allows you to clear and it resets the lock back to start. Okay, but these are the 2 things that we're going to use. What I'm basically going to be doing, I'm going to make sure that the lock is reset. I'm then going to go through each button and I'll be pressing each one. Once I've pressed each one, just one at a time, I'm then going to, with the handle, take it to the position where it just bites, the point where the clear button jumps down, like so. And what I'll be looking at is where this lands, and I'll actually be using the word as a guide. And I'm looking for where it lands, how much of that word gets actually hidden by the button. Because the more this moves down, that indicates you're more than likely pressed a pin that is part of the code. Okay, you have to go through them a few times just to be sure. Sometimes you run back through, just like when you're decoding perhaps a push button digital door lock. Sometimes you get torn between 2 or 3 numbers, you go back over them, and you go with gut instinct. The same here. Okay, sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. Get it wrong, no big deal, you just go back through. Okay, but hopefully you'll see the idea here. Excuse, things might move a bit because I've had to rest the phone on top of a vase, which is a bit crap, but never filmed on the phone before, but here we go. So first off, make sure it's clear. It's making my hands look really manky with this. I think it's the light. Okay, so clear. So I'm going to go through now. Number 1, see where it lands. Okay, so I can see where that's landed. I'm just going to see if I can zoom in a bit. Hopefully, if I just zoom in a tad, because you get the idea of what I'm doing with the handle, but I want you to see more of the clear, so without the phone dropping off. Okay, that should be okay. Okay, so I can see where that's landed. Okay, so I'm going to make sure it's clear. Most of the time, if I press a button, take the clutch or the actual handle to the point it bites, when I let it go, it should automatically reset, but they don't do it all the time, so I just make sure that I've reset after. So I'm going to go number 2 down. I can see where it lands. Reset. Number 3, I can see where it lands. 4. You need to go through them all initially because you want to see where they all land. and the one that you think makes this clear button move down the most and hide most of the top of that word, that's the one you go for. So that's all you've got here, no special tools, fingers, thumbs. See, that's gone down quite far. So you just go with your instinct. That naught went, I don't know if you can see that, it really went quite far. So if I match it up, make sure it's, if I do that to the 9, I can see the 9 isn't quite, you can just see the centre line on the E. Okay, clear, naught. Yeah, it's almost the same, but yeah, 9's quite low as well, just getting thrown there. Number 2, see that look quite low. Let's go between 2 and 0. 2. That's real low. 0. Not quite. I'm going to go with this 2 first. So 2. See where that lands. Okay, so now I've decided the first one I think is number 2 perhaps. I'm going to do, I'm now going to, as I go through, I'm going to now press number 2, then start going through each number. So 2, 1, test, see where it lands. Reset, 2, 3, test, see where it lands. 2, 4, test, see where it lands. 2, 5, oh, slight slip there, I just went a little bit too far. See what I'm sort of moving a lot. See where it lands. 2, 8, see where it lands. 2, 6, quite low. 2, 7. So you can see hopefully that I'm using that almost that centre line on the E as my little guide. 2, 9, 2, 0, 2, B. I'm going to go back down this side again. Can't remember which one it was, but there's one that landed quite low. Test that one again. So that's going quite low as well on the C's. Let me just go back around this side. Quite low. Oh, slight slip again. Very low on this side. Because sometimes you find, depending on what side you go down, it kinks, or that button kinks to one side. Okay, so that's where I'm looking at each side where it lands. Okay, the centre you can use the E. Okay, but I'm getting quite low. So you can see how that's quite low just on the R, because I'm running down this side. Yeah, this one's even more lower. Oh, just make sure it's reset. 2 and 8. So you can see it's really going really low onto that R. So I'm going to go with that. 2, 8. And then start running through the permutations again. 2, 8, 3, 2, 8, 4, 2, 8, 5. I felt more give on there as well. 2, 8, 5. Getting a slightly more turn on the handle before it stops, which is sometimes a good sign. But I still go through them all. 2, 8, 6, 2, 8, 7. Bit of a long-winded video, but it has to be done like this. 2, 8, 0. That was nice. I don't even, you probably heard quite a few little resets there. So 2, 8, 0. I was getting really nice turn. Real nice turn there. 2, 8, B. Definitely on that 2, 8, 0. That felt good. I'm getting really low. You can see it's almost on that, almost just on the line now on that E. That's what I'm looking for. As I start to get more and more of the code, it wants to come down further and further. So now I think I've got 3 of them. I could be wrong. Okay, 2, 8, 0. So now what I can do, I don't need to go through all the rigmarole again of pressing things or to test each one. I'm going to actually go through now 2801, test it. No, 2803, test it, and I'll continue through. Okay, so 2801, test. 2803, test. 280. Did I just do 4? I can't remember. I'll do it again. No. 2805. That's the one. Okay. Okay, so the codes ended up being 280, and then it was on the 5, and that's the one that's opened. Oh, I'll turn it all the way. Okay. So hopefully that gives you an idea of a way that you can open these. Okay, it can take a little bit of time. That one weren't too bad actually. I've managed to get it first time. Sometimes though I do make a mistake, like anything. But if need be, you just reset it and you go back through again. Okay, so I hope that's helped. Cheers guys.